everybody. It's good to see you. I miss you guys. But you know it's spring, and spring means registration for next year. I want to spend just a couple minutes as a wise old principal and give you just a couple pointers, things I want you to remember when you think about next year's schedule. Number one, do not register based on what your friends are doing. Register on what you're interested in. It's going to be a lot more fun if you have an interest in that course that you're taking. Number two, you need to have an appropriate amount of rigor in your schedule. Challenge yourself. Take some of those classes that are going to generate some homework and are going to make you think, and think often. But we also want to encourage you to remember that it's important to enjoy life and to be a kid. You don't have to have 7 excruciatingly tough classes every day for 171 days. Find some of those classes that are going to be more hands-on, they're going to exercise your brain in your hands. Some of those things that are going to give you some lifetime skills. I'm up here in my wood shop. I built this by myself. And part of it is I spent a lot of my high school career taking some tough classes, but I also spent a lot of time in the shops that we had available. And so I developed a keen interest in working with my hands as well as working with my brain. It's important that you take a look at all the classes on that list that are available to you. The business area, the ones I mentioned in art, tech, ed, fax, ag, all of those type of classes, plus the ones in the sciences. Ms. Beauchamp and Mrs. Anderson are going to talk to you about all the requirements. That's going to take you through the kind of classes that you need to prepare yourself for whatever you're going to do after high school. They'll do a great job doing it. And almost lastly, get that schedule handed in as soon as you can. It's very important in the scheduling process. I did it for over 30 years to get all that information in and get it accurate right away, because classes fill up and classes are moved about the schedule based on how you register. And if you hold on to your schedule, you may lose out on some good opportunities. And finally, be nice to the principal.
Hello, going to be sophomores. Welcome to registration for 2020-21. Sorry that you're having to do this online, but you're going to figure it out.
Yes, you will.
So the first thing I'm going to do is walk you through kind of a quick review, because you should have seen this last year, of graduation requirements and the 4-year plan. This document is included in the email that you received that also has this video attached. It may help you to have this pulled up so that you can look at it or make notes as you go along. So if you need to pause the video now to get that document or whatever you need to get to make notes, go ahead and do that. The 4-year plan is a document just to guide you through planning for the classes that you know you want to fit in, but also making sure you're meeting requirements. You should have seen this last year when you did registration for 9th grade, so I'm not going to go through it as thoroughly. I'm just going to highlight what you are going to see on here for this year and a little bit of planning ahead information along with a couple changes for next year. So here we go. So first of all, make sure you've passed all your 9th grade classes. If you haven't passed anything or you anticipate not passing it, keep in mind that you're going to have to work those required classes back in. Not as big of a deal if it's an elective, but if you didn't pass physical science this year, you're going to have to figure out where you're going to fit that in so you take it before graduation. For 10th grade, your schedule looks a lot like it did this year as far as what you're required to take. So you're going to have English, U.S. History 10, Biology, a math, which is going to depend partly on if you're in the advanced or accelerated track of math, or if you have struggled and so you need to take a little bit easier course. Talk with your math teacher, they're going to know what you need to take. And then Phy Ed and Health are the requirements sophomore year. A semester of Phy Ed, a semester of Health. Much like 9th grade, you're going to have 2 class periods to fill with electives, and that's it for next year. Once you get into 11th and 12th grade, it really opens up for you, and so then you're going to start to be able to take a lot more, but really pretty similar next year to what you found this year. If you look at grades 11 and 12, that's what we're talking about. Not as many requirements, so you have to take English both years, you have to take social studies both years. You're going to need to take math, which you're going to want to do your junior year. It doesn't make sense to take a year off. And then you're going to need to take another science class. Now, if you check out over here the graduation requirements, when we look at science, the science course, that's the 3rd one you take, has to be something in the chemistry or physics area. So that could be chemistry, physics, applied physics, or advanced chemistry. So that's going to need to be fit in somewhere in 11th and 12th grade year. Once you've filled that in, it's just a matter of making sure that you have all the other requirements that you need, and then you get to pick electives. So this is the quick recap of graduation. Remember, a credit is what you earn. You have to earn so many of them in order to get your diploma, and you need to have 25 credits in total. If you look down here in the bottom, a reminder that 1 year earns you 1 credit. So if you passed English 9 this year, you've earned 1 credit of English. If you pass the semester of Ag 9 this year, you've earned a half credit in that elective area. So that's how you're keeping track of things, and it sounds like a lot, but you, as you can see from all the spots in here, you will fit those in just fine as long as you're not failing lots of classes. The one thing that you're going to want to make sure that you have covered somewhere along the line, and it can be any time between 9th and 12th grade, is your art credit. Many of you have probably covered that this year, or at least have partially covered it, but you do need to make sure that you figure out where to fit that in. Right now, the art classes are the ones that meet that art standard is any of Mrs. Hager's art classes, any music classes, Digitools, which is a computer class that's coming back next year, can count toward it. Business operations, starting next year, will be able to count as that. Independent study drafting, some kids take with Mr. Spear, and then also independent study or mass communications, which is yearbook, that also can count. If you are looking at going on to college, particularly a 4-year college, the recommendations that are coming from Minnesota colleges are listed on here. This does not mean that you need to have these fulfilled to meet admission requirements. This is what they are giving you as a way to say you'll be best prepared to succeed in college if you have these. Many colleges don't require these, but for both 2- and 4-year colleges, this is what they recommend. They're pretty much the same with the exception of math, where they're saying you really should be taking math for 4 years all the way through your senior year. The other difference is foreign language. 4-year colleges in particular recommend, occasionally they'll require, like the University of Minnesota system requires you have 2 years of a language. It has to be the same foreign language, which is Spanish. Now, if you are going to MSUM, Valley City State, NDSU, they are not going to require that foreign language, although your application is going to be stronger with that. So you're really going to want to kind of keep that in mind as you begin the process of researching colleges. At this point, if you're thinking that a 4-year school is in your future, I would give this strong consideration just to keep your options open. If you're looking at a 2-year college, you do not really need the foreign language part of it. The senior service hours, just to make a note of that, you do not need to worry about that until you're a junior or senior. Just know that that's coming.
And classes for this year, you will have English 10, and that is with Miss Gerald. American History 10, that is with Mr. Haugen. Some of you may recognize him as the assistant basketball coach and junior high football official. He will be taking over and teaching U.S. history. Biology with Mr. Heinrichs. Math, which would either be geometry, advanced algebra if you're on the fast track, or it could be a Concepts 1 course, which has geometry concepts but is more applied. And that's if you struggle in math, you might want to consider the math concepts. But check with your math teacher this year to see which course is better suited for you. And then Phi-Ed Health is with Mr. Heinrichs and Mr. Natz. That's a semester courses. And then you have options for electives. We have choir 9-10. So if you want to be in choir but not perform as much in public, that might be the right fit for you. Or you can take senior high choir, which has more outside of the classroom and school day opportunities that you would be required to perform in. We have band, senior high band. We have a new director. His name is Mr. Johnson. He's coming to us from Concordia. And he is a percussionist by trade and is going to bring a lot of energy and groundedness to the music department. So I'm very excited to have Mr. Johnson on board. Also, your year-long electives would be Spanish, as well as, is there any others that I'm missing? Art. World of Art is a year-long course, and you should have taken studio art last year in order to take the World of Art class. And then there's also some other semester electives which you can choose from, you can see on the registration form. I will also be sharing a video of how to register. It's going to be a Google form, and you can look for that video, and also email Ms. Beauchamp or myself if you have any questions with the registration process.
10th grade year is exciting because you get a few more elective options than you did in 9th grade year. So really pay attention to the grade levels that things are open to in your registration guide, because I know there's stuff that we have missed, but some really exciting things for you. Seniors and juniors probably get preference.
A lot more, yes.
But keep an eye out for those. Okay, happy registering.
Thank you.
Hello, soon-to-be sophomores. This will be the form that will be shared with you for registration and will be used
to register you for next year, as you will be a sophomore. A couple things I'd like to show you. Make sure you write in your name so I know who's filling out the form. A lot of the classes will be predetermined for you. All students will take biology. All students will take English 10, US history, health and phys ed, things like that. So what I need from you is to select what math class you're going to be in. Just ignore the numbers that are behind. Those are just to help me when I enter your schedule into JMC. So select your math class, and then you get 2 credits worth of electives, just like you did when you were a freshman. When you're a junior and senior, you get to have a lot more say over what you're taking, but as a sophomore, again, 2 credits. They should total up to 2. So if you're in band and choir, those would be your 2 elective classes that you're going to take. If you take, for example, 2 half-credit classes like natural resources and beginning welding, along with band, that would be your 2 credits. A couple other things I'd like to bring to your attention that were emailed or shared with you, and that is this newly developed course registration guide, which is full of, hopefully, useful information. It has the graduation requirements. It has your credit tracker, example schedules, and here's the beneficial part. It has a course description for all of the courses that we're going to be offering for next year, so you can really see what classes you would like to take. And just a reminder, if you are planning on playing sports in college, you're going to want to make sure that you're working with the NCAA clearinghouse and taking the courses that'll get you cleared and able to play sports in college. And another document I'd like to show you, this is the master schedule right here. The courses that are in yellow are sophomore classes, and the ones that are in pink are electives for either 9th through 12th grade, 10th through 12th grade, or just juniors and seniors. So that gives you a little idea of what your day might look like next year. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me or Ms. Beauchamp. We are happy to help.